I did want to bring up the Superman movie. You saw that one before me. I don't know how fresh in your mind it is.
So the question is Superman woke? All right, this is my question. My answer to this is James Gunn woke? 100%. Is the guy who played Superman woke? Pretty woke. Refused to say truth, justice, and the American way in an interview for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, don't know why. I guess that's somehow offensive today. And then also, we have just numerous members of the cast, and most men in that movie were kind of weak, vulnerable, kind of the Barbie movie vibes a little bit. However, at the end of the day, I wouldn't consider the movie itself woke. I would consider it, though, definitely political at points. However, there's
Very
also
on
a few
the
points.
Nose. I feel like it wasn't trying to be sneaky with it.
No, but there was things that they chose to incorporate in. I don't know how soon. Some people accuse it of being more current, or they incorporated certain scenes with like Jar and Dur, those like essentially made up Middle Eastern-esque countries that Lex Luthor wants to have his own country. No, but like I just want to say one
ridiculous.
thing before. Like, dude, I think the whole thing of Jar and Dur and whatever else it is. First off, the names sound like they're from Team America World Police.
I've got 5 terrorists going southeast on Bakalakadaka Street.
Like Jar and Dur. Okay, whatever. But the thing is that these are things that existed
like
in the
fan
Superman
fiction.
comics. Yeah, they've existed in the Superman comics way before.
Yeah. I figured
it was literally the go-to Middle Eastern-esque country that the writers used to refer to as foreign place. You know what I mean? That's what it was, right? And they incorporated that, which I think it was just overall comic booky, and there were points that were political.
Yeah, so the names of those countries are Baravia and Jaranpur.
Yeah.
So
well,
I was laughing every time they said the names of the countries.
Yeah, I got the names wrong because, like, what do I know, right? But like the thing, like what I was trying to say though about that, it's really the like essence of the president or prime minister of Baravia had like almost like someone took Netanyahu and Trump aesthetically and put them into one person. That's what I got from it. The movie, this was leading to my next point about the movie being like almost too modern for me. Like it's so much like, it's almost like the movie is infinite scrolling. Things are just happening at you so fast. A scene that would normally be about 5 minutes is 2 minutes, right? It's like 2 minutes here, oh, then we're here. 2 minutes here, then we're here. Then we're over here, guys. Then we're over here. It's just like, I felt like, like you're almost like, it does work in terms of it sucks you in. But I don't know, like, is this the way movies are just going to be from now on? I was kind of reflecting on that. And then I went and saw the new Jurassic World as well. And I was like, okay, no, this movie is really good. They did a good job. It's not like that at all. I was like, it's just the style I think James Gunn was approaching. Similar to this new movie Ice Cube did, War of the Worlds, where
Apparently
it's really bad.
Horrible.
But
yeah, I've heard
it's horrible.
really bad things
I watched.
about it.
I couldn't finish it.
It was all filmed
I think
on
one
a
of the guys
computer,
from Ray
isn't it?
Shremmerd was in it. Yeah, and then he finally leaves the computer and and then it's him on FaceTime, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like 1 hour in, you finally leave the computer. Like it's Ice Cube, man. Like he's not a bad actor. Like it was a weird experiment, and they did a Modern Family episode like it a long time ago, and it was just bad. But let's stick to Superman here. I was just comparing it to some more recent movies. Overall, the movie was comic booky. They did hit a lot of notes, I think, that were well done. I think they made his parents and Kryptonians like oddly Arabic or Hispanic. I can't really nail it down. It's like a weird hybrid compared to like the Russell Crowe portrayal in Man of Steel.
Or
and
like
the Kryptonian
Greek or
being
something, right?
Yeah, it almost sounded like Elvish or something before,
yeah.
like and now they've made it sound like almost Arabic to me. And
Which
they put some bronzer on Bradley Cooper for playing
I didn't
Jor-El.
even
I don't know if you
notice it was
noticed that
Bradley Cooper. I didn't. notice.
That was Bradley Cooper.
Huh.
It's the bronzer, and
Yeah.
they just fermented him in all the right places right before they started, 100%. The makeup literally made him look almost the same ethnicity as the woman. I feel like that's what they were trying to do, is line it up with his mom kind of thing to make them look similar ethnicities. But at the same time, it came across as very different portrayal. I think it is 100%. They almost portrayed Superman like an immigrant. They even called him an alien that's here illegally at one point in the movie.
Yeah.
From what I remember, like Lex Luthor calls him that.
Yeah, he does. He calls him an illegal alien or something. I think that was the moment where everybody was like, "It's on the nose." I get what they're doing. I mean, it's
come
not a huge. Yeah,
it's like you're not. James Gunn's doing it. James Gunn literally even said in an interview, he knows it. Like he denies the movie being woke or political, but then he's super political and woke in these interviews, right? Whereas I feel like it's a little bit, my problem with it is that it's almost like an indoctrination that they take almost too seriously, Like I remember like having this job, once upon a time I worked in trades and stuff, and at work, and I remember this project manager just like reacting to a job, and he was just like a firefighter who just heard the alarm go off. He's just like grabbing his shit, like grabbing this, like running for the door. And then my foreman comes over and goes, "You see that? That guy's an idiot. Just takes himself way too seriously." And I always thought it was hilarious, and that lesson always stuck with me because I'm like, regardless what you're doing in life, I think you can't always take yourself too seriously because then you're like Dwight Schrute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to take your work seriously, but you want to approach it like a gym. You know what I mean? You want to be casual, ready for a response if something happens, but still do your best and do good work, right? I just think it's funny because that's kind of the vibe I kind of get from them, like guys like James Gunn and stuff when they're in these movies.
Yeah, kind of the vibe I got a little bit too is it's almost like
they're doing these movies. Sorry.
There was two things I actually wanted to point out in that regard. The one thing is that, James Gunn, I think he's got the same thing as like a lot of other Hollywood people where they're kind of in this weird position where they feel like, oh, I've got this big platform and I have to use it responsibly to make sure that I'm pushing back and defending the downtrodden and the oppressed, right? Like it's like this white savior complex thing. And then on that same note, I did want to touch on the Ma and Pa Kent part of the film. And
dude,
there was parts of it that I was okay with. Like I thought the speech where Pa Kent is
like,
telling
what
him
is
that
this,
he's
Forrest
proud
Gump? Like I was like, what is this? Like
the one speech where Pa Kent's talking to Clark and he says that he's proud of him, I was like almost tearing up. Like I thought that was a good scene.
Dude, but the script was good. It was the way he talked, dude. He's like, "I'm gonna tell your son." Like he sounded like,
you know what it was?
Like dude, Tropic Thunder. Where he was like play Simple Jack.
Yeah,
dude, he went full hard.
You don't buy that? Yeah, Sean Penn, 2001. I am saying. Remember?
The other thing I was going to say is that it was almost like a noble, and I've seen this a lot with far left people on the internet, where they act like if these people in these rural areas knew about the socialist policies, they would all be Marxists. That like the only reason that these people aren't on the far left is because they don't know how we're all fighting on the same side as they are. And a lot of the people who think this stuff, they don't actually know any poor rural white people. Dude, they don't know any actual Christians or whatever.
People in the countryside want to be left alone. That's it. Yeah, and they want to be untaxed. Like they want to be paying less taxes and be left alone.
The other thing what they want is it's almost like this noble savage trope. You know how like Native Americans are portrayed in old movies where it's like they're in tune with nature and they're all good natured and they're always helping people, and like it's almost like they don't make them into real people. They're like it's like they're a caricature of a person. They're like this idealized
they used to do that a
form.
lot, right? And I think and that's been around even in Sherlock Holmes books, dude. Like they're good, but everyone who's like from somewhere else is like a caricature, right? So this will be my last input about the Superman movie, and then you say what you want to say, Saul.
Yeah.
But essentially, last thing I want to say about the Superman movie is Ma and Pa Kent were portrayed as complete hicks, in my opinion. They were portrayed as almost dumb and slow. Like people were like just like bad actors were chosen. You know what I mean? Like I was who are these people? Like,
I don't even think it was necessarily bad actors. It was just almost offensive in the portrayal is what it is.
Yeah,
like,
it was just like,
but that's what I mean is this noble savage thing, right?
The only people who think there's nothing wrong with the portrayal of Ma and Pa Kent have never spent time in the countryside, I think.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say too.
Dumb.
Is this is
it's pretty much the same here. There's like there's just less people all around, but it's pretty much the same in terms of like more people are more nature aware and weather aware up here, I find. But that's about it. That's the biggest
I don't think
difference,
there's anything even wrong necessarily with giving them the like accents and stuff. But yeah, it was just a little bit too far. At the same time, I get it. It's James Gunn.
They're supposed to be from Kansas, but
he leans into this really like cartoonish aesthetic. There was one thing you were talking about before where there was almost like the scenes where like it was almost like it was like a zoomer, like you're watching like someone's playing
You're
Subway
just scrolling
Surfers.
through a movie.
Yeah.
You're scrolling.
But
like all of a sudden
once-
they're at Mom Pa Kent's, and then it's just 5 minutes of complete hicks, and then you're just gone from Mom Pa Kent's, and then we're off to something else. Like
one scene
Anyways.
that I thought was pretty emblematic of that was, and actually I watched in Ben Shapiro's interview, he talked about this. And then another point that I agreed with as well was when that scene where Clark and Lois are arguing in their apartment and there's the big battle in the background. I thought it was a cool visual, but they just did it for too long. Like it would have been good if they were having the argument and then like maybe at one point at the beginning you see this stuff in the background, and then like later on in the conversation there's also you see like a building getting crashed or something like that, right? Like it's like right after that then you have a
I
call
think
back
this
to the
is-
earlier thing. But it was too, and I get it, he's trying to be cinematic, he's trying to have this like really cool
it's
thing in the
world building,
background.
right?
Yeah,
It's like what you do for like world building. So like, you know, if I wanted to say like there was a camp of knights, but I wanted to build that more immersive, like there was a camp of knights and they were, you know, they were all dueling each other. They're all doing something, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of like, I know it's a really bad example, but like
No, I think it's
just
good.
one.
It makes sense.
It was just an aesthetic to like add to the atmosphere, I feel like. But the whole time I was waiting for him to go join the fight. And I'm like, wait, he doesn't join the fight? Like what's going on? Like,
there was a few things. It was almost like a character inconsistency for him to not care about it. And I get what the intention was for the scene there, but it almost would have been better if like he was maybe he's like somehow in the fight, but he's also talking to Lois on the side. Like maybe he has like a Bluetooth earphone in or something. That would have been a better way to do that scene, because it didn't make sense for him. In some scenes, he's not even letting a squirrel get hurt. And then in a whole other scene, there's like literally a huge alien battle going on in the background and he doesn't even care. Like, yeah, there was a few of these things, right? And then one thing that Ben Shapiro pointed out as well was how Lex Luthor, he's literally able to create his own dimensions. That is a huge plot point in this movie. And for some reason, he wants to annex this like third world country. Why? What would he need that for, right? And it's like, it doesn't make any sense.
The whole idea of it, I think, of the universe thing is supposed to be like, he doesn't care if he collapses everything. He'll just He'll do what he wants to do regardless. So I understand why they put that in there. But yeah, I was like, what? He's gonna make Lextopia? Like what is this, right?
Yeah.
It was just so ridiculous. And like, honestly,
on that same
I like
note-
Smallville's Lex Luthor better, and I never thought I'd say that. Yeah, I was gonna say I was pretty gung ho for this movie, all in all, because I've been rewatching Smallville, and honestly, I was
really?
pretty gung ho for this. Yeah, I was pretty gung ho for this, and it was just
I thought about Smallville a
Yeah.
lot when I was leading up, because I was going to go see it. And I kept on remembering, I was trying to describe the show to one of my kids. And I was saying, I was almost like this, like it was like a superhero show that didn't really want to go all in on being a superhero show. Like they didn't want to put the costume on him. They were kind of afraid of
it had
looking too-
supernatural syndrome. That's what I gotta say. Supernatural syndrome.
Sure, and so
it went on for too long.
It's
but
almost like the opposite problem from a James Gunn thing, where they were so afraid of looking comic booky that it was like silly. Like it's like this.
Yeah,
there's
to a
lot
degree,
of-
but you got to realize how this stuff aged. Like I've been rewatching it. Like Jonathan Taylor Thomas is a bad guy in an episode, like the kid from Home Improvement. And I thought it was so funny because just his whole character, his style. It was just what acting was. I feel like as time goes on,
TV acting was so much different. Yeah,
we've tried to get more and more real, right?
Actually,
but like at the same time, I'm just gonna say the show starts off dark and then almost gets like mainstreamed a little bit. And it starts off as like a teeny drama with Superman in it, who is not even really Superman yet. And then it goes into this elaborate storyline that's happening the whole time on the side as he's fighting random bad guys every episode, right? So similar to Supernatural in that sense, there's a main storyline.
It's
But
a
most of the time
serialized
they're on
drama,
these like side ventures that don't really mean anything and last one episode. And if it lasts more than one episode, it's like a season finale. You know what I mean? Like it's but the whole thing that's just what cable shows were, right? At the same time, but it transitions into like a One Tree Hilly soap opera with Superman. You know what I mean?
But it also, I feel like they also, because it was part of that kind of generation of shows that matured into like an internet age, or like to a point where people were watching the whole show altogether. Because even with like South Park's actually a really good example of this too, is a show that used to be serialized. None of the episodes had any continuity. Like Kenny literally dies every episode. It's like it's in a whole new universe.
It was like
They
a
make
funny
slight
comic
references.
book strip almost, right?
Yeah,
like
but
that's what it was.
Another thing I wanted to make a note of is because you said that thing about being more realistic and leaning away from like we're in this really in this time where everything's really ironic, and like the superhero movies don't really take themselves seriously, which I think is good in a lot of ways. Like that Thor Ragnarok movie, I loved that, and that's like a really good example of a show just not taking itself too seriously.
Wasn't that James Gunn?
It might have been.
Too?
I don't know. No, I know it wasn't. That was Taika Waititi.
Oh, okay. James Gunn did Guardians of the Galaxy though, right? He did 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, and he did the second Suicide Squad movie,
which I liked. And honestly, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was amazing. Like I thought it was really well done.
I've seen the first two. I think I don't know if
I thought
seen
the
third
first
one.
and third one were the best, hands down. The second one was like, oh, okay, this is weird, and they just portrayed things in a really
I was never
weird
a big
way.
fan of the
But
Guardians
3
of the
and
Galaxy
1
movie.
were
I don't
really
know why.
good.
I just didn't really care.
Personally.
I barely remember
I think
those
1
movies.
was such a new thing. And dude, like it gave Chris Pratt his career. Like I'm rewatching Jurassic World. I rewatched
Star-Lord
the
was
Jurassic
his breakout
World recently.
role. That was his
And,
transition out of being like Parks and Rec actor.
Yeah, out of being the funny fat guy with a beard, like you know.
Yeah,
like,
he went from
basically
being
transition to that to action
and
hero.
then voicing Mario in the Mario movie. You know, like
Becoming
an
I
absolute
think he's just at a
superstar.
point where he's just doing like if he auditions, they're at least hearing his audition no matter
Oh yeah,
what.
he's an
right?
act. He's well. I think the Nintendo people. They're weird. One of my doors just slammed upstairs. There's a bunch of windows open. It's not a ghost. But the Michael Knowles. I don't know how much I want to keep referring to all these Daily Wire things, but I ended up listening to Michael Knowles' review because
surprising
it came on right
amount.
after.
Honestly, I'm surprised to listen to that much Daily Wire. Because like I listened to Ben Shapiro's review on the movie too, but I didn't really listen to much more than that.
It started auto playing into the Michael Knowles one, and they were both pretty short. But Michael Knowles, he says this thing because there's that one line where he's arguing with Lois, and she says something about like being punk rock or whatever.
Lois and Clark are having a debate over punk rock,
and Clark has this line about how maybe being earnest and like caring about things and taking things seriously is the new punk rock. And it's in a way he's making it's like a meta commentary on how these movies are really afraid to take themselves seriously because everything is so ironic and irony layered now that like nothing is serious anymore. And Superman is a character that takes himself really seriously, right? Like he always has been. It's like
also one who's been like not vulnerable at all, which I thought was a really weird thing that they made him super vulnerable. I kept saying that was my last thing I was going to say, but there's so much negative feedback. I do like criticisms I have for it, but at the same time, all in all, what would I like? If I had to rate the movie, I'd still rate it like a 7 out of 10. I think it definitely like
I think I
did
gave
what it was trying to do. It had some moments that were good, but at the same time there was a lot of stuff. It was just like, okay, like what are you doing here, James? Like you know what I mean? Like
my preteen son was making fun of me because I saw it with a few friends and my kids. And when we got to the movie, we were all like kind of, spitballing our opinions on it. And I said I thought it was like a 6.5 or something is probably what I would give it. And my son was just like laughing at me. He's like, oh yeah, the film critique. He didn't like it. Only a 6.5, guys. You know what? Actually, maybe a 5.5. He's like giving it. He's like making fun of it. He did something. He really liked it.
That's so funny, actually. Because he did something similar to me. I can't remember what it was about, but I was saying something, and he was like, "Oh yeah, are you an expert on that?" And I was like, "Where'd that come from?" I was like, "You know what, Kobe?
He
I am an
reminds
expert."
me of me so much. It's so like I was such a mouthy little kid, and I know I was right. So every once in a while, I'll hear it coming out of him, and I know my wife doesn't think it's as funny, right? But I'm always like, I have a hard time not just laughing at it. And then the other thing too that I thought was really funny, you made this comment about Lex. I can't remember exactly what you said, but it's almost like he was like and I get it. He's Lex Luthor. He's supposed to be an evil guy, but the part
he was
where
like a tech bro,
dude, where he blows that immigrant's brains out. I was like, what is? He just killed that guy? Like he brings this like crying Indian man. He's like, "Oh, I have a family," and Lex Luthor just like murders him.
Actually,
this guy's yeah, he just dies. He's just dead now, and it's like it's so crazy. And then that also the part where I don't know if this is in the comics or not, but the whole thing where Bradley Cooper's telling him that he's meant to have a harem of wives. Dude, I was like, come on, man.
Yeah,
this is so
dude, this is what I meant. It was almost like he's like this Arabic immigrant from afar, you know,
Bradley
who's
Cooper's
there illegally.
Andrew Tate, and
ICE is gonna get Superman, guys.
Yeah,
like, it's just like what? Like it's just ridiculous. But like I don't know. Like this is why a lot of people are saying it's woke. At the end of the day, though, yeah, there was moments like that where Lex just comes in within 2 minutes, brings the guy in, shoots him in the head, and leaves. I'm just like, what just happened?
Dude,
this is where it feels like a zoo. That's where it feels like a movie for Gen Zers. It's like like it was just a short. Like, oh, here's a TikTok of Lex killing this guy in front of Superman. All right, he's gone. Now it's like a sequence of TikToks. Like I don't know, like you know, like, but like the portrayal of Mr. Terrific, even though originally he was a white man, honestly. Nailed it. I honestly thought it was great. I didn't have a problem with that.
I have no problem. A lot of people get upset. And I mean, of course,
like, he did so good and he fit the role so well that it's just like, I don't care. Like he did such a, you know, they chose the best actor for the job. But like, this is why the whole like thing with the black Snape in the Harry Potter thing, way different just because that guy is not even a good actor and doesn't even portray the character very well. Like apparently it's been leaked that they don't even know why they chose him. I honestly, it was probably just like try and get a rise out of J.K. Rowling and make this big political situation. And it's like literally the only character that's just whose skin color is described in the books, besides a couple other side characters. You know what I mean? Like it's like one of the only main characters who's like vividly described and like illustrated in the books. So it's kind of like, what are you doing? Like you could have done this with any other character, and you chose to do it with Snape. And it's like, you know, it's just ridiculous. Apparently there were people who auditioned too who would have fit the role pretty well. People thought. Some dude from Game of Thrones, I can't remember his name, but apparently he auditioned for it. But anyways,
who knows? Maybe this guy they picked, like that's the thing is I don't actually necessarily have a problem with race swapping at all. If it's especially in fantasy, like it's like I don't know. I some people get really upset about this. I actually kind of understand that I know that I've heard a few redheaded people who are saying like they always take the redhead characters and turn them black, which is actually it's funny how many times that actually specifically happens.
The joke, dude, there's this. Okay, so like one of my like you know in the Discord I'm usually hanging out like with my friends and stuff in. Like one of them has their nephew in there and he's like 19. He's a Gen Zer, and I keep calling him a Gen Zer, and I just think it's hilarious because he doesn't understand. He's like, what's a Z? Because he's American. But he literally was making
Gen
this
Zers,
joke
that's so
that
funny.
That gingers are the new blacks, right? And I'm like, what do you like? I thought it was just his original thought, and then you say that, and then I'm like, oh, is that the joke?
Yeah,
like, is that what it is?
Saying,
like. But he loved the movie, by the way. He said it was one of the best movies he's ever seen. So just supports
Superman
my opinion. Movie. Yeah, so just supports my opinion
really? Wow.
on the
yeah.
on the Gen
Well, and my son
aspect.
too. My son loved it too. He thought it was awesome. He was like really pumped on it. I thought that it was too much. I actually wasn't like my big gripes were with the movie, specifically that prison escape scene. I was like, there's too much going on here. Why the hell is this baby here? This baby, first of all, I'm gonna send you because I want to get your reaction.
You know what's so funny, dude, is I actually was talking to your daughter because she's like, you know,
did she show you the picture of the baby?
She told me about that you were upset about the baby, and I'm like, the baby, like I didn't get it, like, but she said the baby looks way different.
Well, because I looked at I just thought they have the baby looking like a friggin' alien, and like literally like a bug-eyed. It doesn't even look like a cute baby. And I was just like, what? Why is this CGI baby here the whole time?